If you're over 60, the first hour of your morning may be doing more for your future health than you realize. And I'm not talking about an expensive supplement, a complicated workout, or some miracle drink. I'm talking about 7 simple things you can do every morning that may help support your muscles, your heart, your brain, your energy, and your ability to remain independent as you age. Here's the warning. After 60, muscle strength and physical function can decline if we become inactive and consistently undernourished. And according to the World Health Organization, about 14% of people aged 60 and older currently live with a mental health condition, while physical inactivity and chronic disease can significantly affect quality of life as we age. But here's the exciting part. Getting older does not mean you are powerless. Your morning routine gives you an opportunity to send your body a completely different message. Move, nourish, hydrate, wake up your brain, and prepare yourself for the day. Today, I'm going to take you through 7 morning habits, counting down from number 7 to number 1. And I strongly recommend staying until number 1, because it's one of the simplest habits on this list, yet it may have the greatest impact on your mobility and independence when combined with the others. Before we begin, tell me your age and where you're watching from. And I want you to answer one more question. What is the one thing you want to remain strong enough to do for the next 10 years? Is it walking without assistance, traveling, gardening, climbing stairs, playing with your grandchildren, getting out of a chair easily? Write it in the comments. I read every comment, and your answer could motivate someone else watching this today. Let's start with number 7. Number 7 is simple. Drink water after you wake up. After several hours of sleep, you have gone through a period without drinking fluids. You also lose water naturally through breathing and other processes while you sleep. That does not mean you wake up dangerously dehydrated every morning. But starting your day with some water can be a simple way to support normal hydration. And hydration matters for much more than thirst. Water is involved in digestion, circulation, temperature regulation, and countless cellular processes. Even mild dehydration can make some people feel tired, sluggish, or less alert. This becomes especially important as we age because the sensation of thirst can become less reliable for some older adults. But please, don't make the mistake of thinking that more water is always better. You do not need to force yourself to drink enormous quantities, and if your doctor has told you to restrict fluids because of a medical condition, follow your healthcare professional's instructions rather than a generic internet recommendation. For most people, the goal is simply to begin the day with sensible hydration and continue drinking fluids regularly throughout the day according to their individual needs. Now here's where this gets interesting. Your morning glass of water is not going to magically extend your lifespan, but it can become the first trigger in a chain of healthier decisions. You drink water, then you get up, then you move, then you eat a nutritious breakfast. Then you feel more prepared to take a walk. One small action can make the next action easier. And that brings us to number 6. Number 6 is get some morning light. You may think sunlight has nothing to do with healthy aging, but your brain uses light as one of the most important signals for regulating your circadian rhythm, your internal biological clock. Morning light can help provide your brain with a strong environmental signal that it is daytime. That matters because healthy sleep is one of the foundations of healthy aging. Poor sleep can affect mood, concentration, energy, and your ability to function during the day. And for older adults, sleep can sometimes become more fragmented or difficult to maintain. So instead of waking up and immediately spending the next hour in a dark room staring at your phone, consider opening the curtains, stepping outside, sitting near a bright window, or taking a short morning walk when appropriate. You don't need to stare directly at the sun. Please don't do that, and you don't need to intentionally burn or damage your skin. The goal is simply to expose yourself to normal outdoor morning light safely. I remember hearing about a woman in her 70s who complained that she was tired almost every morning. She spent most of her morning indoors, rarely went outside before noon, and had developed a routine of sitting with her phone immediately after waking. Her solution wasn't some expensive supplement. She started getting outside in the morning and walking gently around her neighborhood. Over time, she told her family she felt more awake during the day and more connected to her daily routine. Was sunlight alone responsible? We can't say that, but it became part of a healthier morning pattern. And that's the point. We are not searching for magic. We are building a system. Now, before we get to the top 5, I want you to understand something that could completely change the way you think about mornings after 60. Your body responds to repetition, not perfection. You don't need one extraordinary morning. You need hundreds of ordinary mornings where you repeatedly give your body useful signals. And number 5 gives your muscles one of those signals. Number 5 is eat a protein-rich breakfast. This is one of the most important nutritional habits to consider as you get older. Muscle tissue is constantly being broken down and rebuilt. Protein provides amino acids that your body uses to maintain and repair tissues, including muscle, and aging can make muscle less responsive to small amounts of protein, a phenomenon researchers often refer to as anabolic resistance. That's why simply eating less and less as you get older can become a problem. You may lose appetite, you may skip breakfast, you may eat toast and coffee, then perhaps a small lunch, then something light at dinner. You might believe you are eating less and therefore healthier, but your body still needs protein and other nutrients. A breakfast containing foods such as eggs, plain Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, beans, or other appropriate protein sources can help you build a more nutrient-dense morning meal. You can combine protein with fruit, vegetables, oats, or whole grains depending on your dietary needs. And remember, your exact protein requirements depend on factors such as your body size, activity level, overall diet, and health conditions. If you have kidney disease or have been told to restrict protein, speak with your healthcare professional before significantly increasing your protein intake. Now imagine a man named James. James was 74 when he noticed that getting out of his favorite chair had become difficult. He blamed his age. But when he looked at his routine, he realized something. He was eating very little protein, spending most of his day sitting, and rarely performing any resistance exercise. His healthcare team helped him make gradual changes appropriate for his condition. He began including more protein in his meals and started a safe strength training routine. Months later, he wasn't trying to become a bodybuilder. He simply wanted to stand up without pushing himself off the armrests. That goal may sound small, but it isn't. The ability to stand from a chair represents independence. And that brings us to number 4. Number 4 is move your body before the morning gets away from you. You do not need to run. You do not need to do a brutal workout. And you certainly don't need to copy an exercise routine designed for a 25-year-old athlete. You need movement appropriate for your body, gentle walking mobility exercises, heel raises, arm movements, sit-to-stand exercises, light resistance bands, or a properly designed strength routine. Movement is one of the most powerful tools available for healthy aging because your muscles, bones, heart, lungs, balance system, and brain all respond to physical activity. The CDC recommends that older adults include aerobic activity, muscle strengthening activity, and balance activity as part of their weekly physical activity when their health allows. And you don't have to accomplish everything before breakfast. Even a few minutes of movement can be a starting point. Here's a powerful strategy. Before you sit down with your phone, move before you check social media. Move before you begin watching television. Move. Create a rule that your body gets attention before the screen gets attention. If you have severe pain, dizziness, significant balance problems, chest pain, or a medical condition affecting your ability to exercise, get appropriate medical guidance before beginning a new exercise routine. And if you're already active, don't assume more is always better. Recovery matters too. Now, if you're finding this helpful, take a moment to like this video. And if you know someone over 60 who needs a reminder that aging doesn't mean giving up on strength, Share this video with them, and subscribe to Longevity Mastery for more practical, evidence-based, healthy aging information. Because number 3 is where your morning routine starts affecting something beyond your muscles. Number 3 is wake up your brain. Your brain benefits from being challenged. And that doesn't mean you need to solve complicated mathematical problems every morning. You can read, brat vat, learn a new word, practice a language, do a crossword, play a strategy game, ride the news critically, have a meaningful conversation, or spend a few minutes planning your day. The goal is to remain mentally engaged. But there is an important distinction. Doing a crossword puzzle doesn't guarantee protection against dementia. There is no single brain game that can promise that brain health is influenced by many factors, including physical activity, cardiovascular health, sleep, social connection, hearing health, nutrition, and management of conditions such as high blood pressure and diabetes. So think bigger than a puzzle. Think about your entire morning. Walk outside. Talk to someone. Read something interesting. Learn something new. Move your body. That is a much more powerful approach to healthy brain aging. And there's another reason I want you to take this seriously. When you stop challenging yourself completely, life can become smaller. You stop learning, you stop exploring, you stop going places, you stop meeting people. And eventually, you may start believing that because you are older, there is nothing new left for you. That is not true. Your birthday does not mean your curiosity has to retire. And now we reach number 2. Number 2 is eat a fiber-rich, nutrient-dense food with your morning meal. This might be berries, oatmeal, vegetables, whole grains, chia seeds, beans in a savory breakfast, or another high-fiber food that fits your diet. Fiber is important for digestive health, and certain types of fiber can support healthy cholesterol and blood glucose levels. But here is the bigger idea. Instead of asking, "What can I eat that will make me live forever?" ask, "What can I add to this meal that gives my body more nutritional value?" That question changes everything. Instead of sugary cereal alone, add berries and nuts. Instead of toast alone, add eggs and vegetables. Instead of a pastry, consider oatmeal with nuts and fruit. Instead of a breakfast that is mostly refined carbohydrates, create a meal that contains protein, fiber, and nutrient-dense foods. And don't forget to increase fiber gradually if your current intake is low while maintaining adequate fluid intake, because suddenly consuming a lot of fiber can cause digestive discomfort for some people. Now we arrive at number 1. And I want you to remember this one because it may be the most important habit of the entire morning. Number 1 is train your strength. Not just your endurance, not just your flexibility, your strength. Because strength is one of the foundations of independence. Think about what strength allows you to do. Stand up from a chair, climb stairs, carry groceries, lift a suitcase, get up from the floor, open a heavy door. Maintain balance when you stumble. Carry your grandchildren, move around your home. These are not gym exercises. These are life exercises, and this is why resistance training becomes increasingly valuable as we age. Research and clinical guidelines consistently support muscle strengthening activity for older adults who are able to participate safely. You might use resistance bands, light weights, machines, body weight exercises, or movements such as sit-to-stand exercises. But you need to progress safely and appropriately, and you don't need to destroy your muscles to get results. In fact, the goal is not to make yourself extremely sore. The goal is to provide your muscles with an appropriate challenge and then allow them to recover. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Robert. Robert was 81. He didn't care about having big muscles. His goal was simple. He wanted to walk into the restaurant where he and his wife had celebrated their anniversary for more than 40 years. But he had become nervous about stairs. He had started avoiding long walks. And he was using his hands more often to push himself out of chairs. His healthcare provider helped him develop a safe exercise plan. He started small. He practiced standing from a chair. He performed appropriate resistance exercises. He walked regularly, and he worked on balance. Months later, he went back to that restaurant. He still wasn't moving like he did at 30. He didn't need to. He was moving well enough to participate in his own life. That is the definition of progress I want you to remember. Not looking young, living capable. And there is one mistake I want you to avoid. Do not turn these 7 habits into a rigid checklist that makes you feel like you failed if you miss one morning. Healthy aging is not perfection. If you wake up late one day, start again tomorrow. If you miss your walk, move later. If breakfast wasn't perfect, make your next meal better. If you are tired, listen to your body. Consistency beats intensity. And these 7 morning habits work best when they connect together. Wake up and hydrate. Get some natural light. Eat a nutrient-dense breakfast with adequate protein. Move your body, challenge your brain, kind, fiber-rich foods, and perform safe, strength-building activity. You don't necessarily have to do them in exactly this order, and you don't need to complete everything in 1 hour. The real goal is to create a morning that reminds your body and mind that you are still participating in your own health, because too many people reach 60, 70, 80, or 90 and begin to think decline is automatic. Some changes with age are inevitable, but many aspects of physical function can be influenced by what we do. Your muscles respond to movement, your cardiovascular system responds to activity, your brain responds to engagement. Your body needs adequate nutrition, your sleep-wake system responds to environmental cues. And your confidence can grow when you prove to yourself that you are still capable of doing difficult things. So tomorrow morning, don't try to completely reinvent your life. Start with one thing. Drink some water, open the curtains, step outside, eat a better breakfast, take a short walk, do a few safe strength exercises, call someone you love. Read something, choose one. Then repeat it, and eventually those small actions become your lifestyle, and your lifestyle becomes part of your health. Now I want you to think about something. 10 years from now, you may wish you had started today. You may wish you had protected your legs earlier. You may wish you had worked on your balance. You may wish you had paid more attention to your nutrition. You may wish you had spent more time walking. But you don't have to wait 10 years to make a different choice. You have today, you have tomorrow morning, and tomorrow morning can be different. Maybe your goal isn't to live forever. Maybe your goal is to live long enough to see another wedding, another birthday, another family reunion, another vacation, another sunrise. Maybe you want to walk into your own kitchen and make your own breakfast at 90. Maybe you want to hold your grandchild. Maybe you want to climb the stairs in your own home. Maybe you simply want to wake up and know that you can take care of yourself. That is why strength matters. That is why mobility matters. That is why brain health matters. That is why your morning matters. Because longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about protecting the quality of those years. So let's remember the 7 habits one last time. Hydrate sensibly after waking, get natural morning light, give your body adequate protein, move before the day becomes sedentary, challenge your brain, choose fiber-rich, nutrient-dense foods, and most importantly, build and maintain strength safely. You don't need to be perfect, you need to keep showing up. If you're over 60, tell me in the comments. What is your age? Where are you watching from? And which of these 7 habits are you going to start tomorrow morning? And tell me the one thing you want to remain strong enough to do. I read every comment. If this video helped you, like it and share it with someone you love who is over 60. And subscribe to Longevity Mastery because we're here to help you understand healthy aging in a practical, realistic, evidence-based way. And remember, the scientific references supporting the information discussed in this video are available in the description. You cannot stop the calendar. You cannot change your birth year, but you can influence many of the choices you make when you wake up tomorrow. You can choose movement instead of another hour in the chair. You can choose nourishment instead of skipping breakfast. You can choose connection instead of isolation. You can choose curiosity instead of believing you have nothing left to learn. And you can choose strength, not because you're trying to become young again, but because you deserve the chance to remain independent, mobile, energetic, mentally engaged, and confident in your own body for as long as possible. Tomorrow morning, when your feet touch the floor, remember this. You are not simply starting another day. You are giving your future self another opportunity. Take care of that person. Start with one small habit, then another, and keep going. Because the strongest version of your future may be built by what you choose to do tomorrow morning.